Hey Alex, how are you doing, man? Thanks for having me today.
I think everybody who is in the business wants their clients to pay a little bit more for the story.
Yeah, 20% more because I know it's good. My money is not just for me, it's doing good for other people. So that's part of the evolution that's happened is
Brand and mission and resonating story.
never stop.
Or Arina, yes, it is recorded, so we can start at any moment and
Okay.
let it be right now. I'm always very excited when we have the webinars. I'm waiting for some new valuable information and I'm ready to use it already the next day after the webinar. And
I've got it, man. I got this. I got the magic bullet right here.
okay, it's a silver one.
Silver bullet, yes.
Yeah, I hope it's
Watch out if you're a werewolf.
Okay, so today our topic is what is a brand? Michael is the Chief Idea Officer of the Midwest Premier Amazon Account Management Agency. He created holistic strategies for brand growth on Amazon. So our team then implements, Michael team then implements them using proprietary systems developed through years of experience on the platform. Is this all about you?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much about myself and my team. But yeah, I started selling on Amazon back in like 2010, 2011. Did that for about 6 years and then transitioned into the service side of things. And now I'm actually helping brands to access Amazon. There's a lot of possibilities there. And we know how to speak the language. And so we're gatekeepers of sorts that help people to basically get access and actually generate revenue. And we're starting to expand beyond Amazon as well, because we realize that really omni-channel is the future, I believe, of retail.
Always working in e-commerce, in online business. How did you get to this point?
Yeah, so in 2010, I just came to the realization that I hated my job that I was at. So that was okay. Easy enough. And I am a musician, and so I had been buying and selling used music gear on eBay, and so I knew how it worked, the logistics of it. But I had a friend who was doing it as a business, as a retailer, and so he helped me learn the ropes, and I invested a little bit of money. Did that for a year while I was still working that other job, really just selling on eBay, and was able to leave that other job to really pursue entrepreneurship full time. It was then that I started to expand to other marketplaces like Amazon, built my own web store, things like that, and really saw the value in omni-channel commerce. In 2016, there's a big change up in the industry. And so I transitioned. I very quickly said, all right, I'm going to go service focused. That's going to be my focus. And I've never really looked back since. Just started. The whole company's remote. We've got people all over the world. I just initially started hiring people remotely. And I didn't want to have to go to an office either. So I just, started hiring remotely in that way. And so when the pandemic did hit, we changed strategy for clients, but we really didn't have to make any adjustments in our workflow, which was nice.
Yeah, I think nowadays already almost nobody wants to go back to office.
Yeah, I think there might be like maybe 10% of people.
Yeah, but I think in next 6 months, even they will not want to go to office.
Yeah, maybe not. And I know people in my city where they had a brand new office building built, but now majority of the people are going to be remote. So I'm like, what are they? I don't even know what they're going to do with the office building. Maybe turn it into
they're playing football there.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's a new stadium.
Okay, so you've got rather huge experience, and I would love to know a little bit more about what you're going to tell us about today.
Yeah, brands, they're important, and they're important because they tell people a story, or they have a story to tell. And for you to really stick with a consumer, especially across multiple channels when everything is very omni-channel these days, you have to have a story that's relevant and that speaks to them. We know that, acting on emotions in a conversation may not be the best thing, but people do make have emotional interaction when they are making purchase decisions. And you want to evoke some kind of emotion from your brand. And I think a lot of people think of brand as logo, colors, all that kind of stuff. That's a part of the design of it. But you want to evoke an emotion from someone to get them to purchase. You want them to resonate with the story you're telling. And so when I look at a brand, I think of a brand that one is solving some kind of very unique problem or providing some kind of unique service or offering that is different. It's differentiated somehow from other people, and that people resonate with that story. And when they hear that story, they think, I need this thing or I need this service. So it's really solving a problem and why you started solving that problem and how you are continuing to do so. I think that's the essence of what a brand is. It's just about storytelling. And I look back at, over hundreds of thousands of years or however long humans have been around, we've been writing on cave walls, we've been writing on scrolls, all kinds of stuff, telling stories in different ways. And so those are very, very, I think, a part of our DNA, that we really resonate with stories. And so telling stories from a brand perspective only makes sense if you really want people to buy into the brand, and it not just be about a product. Because you could sell a coffee mug, you could sell bottled water, and people will just go, to price. But if you want people to even pay a little bit more for the product you're selling, you need to have a solid brand in place.
I think everybody who is in the business wants their clients to pay a little bit more for the story.
Yeah. And
I will be glad. I will be glad if you will teach me how to do this today.
Well, I think if your product really is high quality, I don't think people want to pay less than they need to for a product. If something is valuable and you undervalue it, I think it honestly loses some of the value to that person. And so sometimes the amount of money can matter. But I think ultimately what works for the brand is just, are we profitable enough to continue doing the things that that we want to do and grow as a company?
So tell us, please, what is the evolution of brands within the past 20, 30 years? How have it changed because of the e-com online, trading has changed dramatically? And what about brand building and brands?
When I look back over the ways that brands were advertising, there was, just from the 80s, 90s, 2000s to now, 2010s, now we're in the 2020s. I'm starting to feel old, but when we look at that time frame, I see brands initially, when you look back to original brands like, Coca-Cola or Wonder Bread or whatever the case might be, it was, hey, we have this new product and we think you should try this product because we think you're going to like it. And so things have been very product focused, or when someone has a commercial and advertisement, they're trying to do something unique, maybe to make people laugh, to make people cry, to, again, to evoke that emotion. But it's really been product focused. And even as marketplaces came about, and Google ads, Google came about, AdWords came about, advertising, all those channels, a lot of things have been very product focused. So what are the product features? What does the product do? What problem does the product solve? How does the product make people feel? And what I've seen really over maybe even the past 10 to 15 years is brands starting to invest more in the overall brand. So why is the brand even around? Before we even get to the product, why is the brand around? And who are the founders even of the brand? And we're starting to see consumers, especially a younger generation, who isn't just purchasing for the best price, but the mission behind the brand, the reason the brand is there, is part of the reason people are investing in brands. One of the companies that really took that to the next level was Tom's, the shoe company. They had that 1-for-1 model. And of course, there are a lot of people that have followed suit, like Warby Parker does stuff like that. There are other brands that, do that 1-for-1 model where you buy one and they give one away. But the concept behind that, there's a humanitarian aspect to that. And so I believe people aren't just buying because they like the product. I think the product has to be good, but they believe in the mission that's behind that product. And so they're not just they feel good about investing their money in a product because they know it's also helping the rest of the planet. And so as people become more cause focused, it's not just this product was developed for this. It's, hey, I'm an older female and I was looking for this type of product and no one was making it. So I started making it myself and then selling it that story matters to people because the consumer who's buying the product resonates with that and says, yeah, that was me. And I think as humans, we want to know that we're not alone. I know as an entrepreneur, when things were drastically changing in 2016 with my business, I was not connected to any other entrepreneurs. And it was a tough year for me. When I started getting involved with other entrepreneurs, I realized, oh, wow, it's tough for everyone. I'm not the only one that's experiencing a tough time. And so finding that community was huge. And so as we see brands start to evolve, telling more stories, we see consumers really wanting to get involved in community and be in a place where, a lot of people talk about in marketing these days, like finding your tribe. And I think there's something to be said for that, but it's really about finding community. And so as brands continue to develop, people say, oh, I believe in this thing. I believe in giving back to communities, and Tom's is doing that, or Warby Parker is doing that. I want to invest in that brand, and I want to purchase this product, even if it is, 20% more, because I know it's good. My money is not just for me, it's doing good for other people. So that's part of the evolution that's happened, is going from product to, and the brand making the product, but the product being the focus. And now it's the brand has a mission, and they're out to do something. And the mission, it doesn't have to be tech-based. It doesn't have to be, we have this brand new product to revolutionize, the space industry. It could just be, hey, we believe that, look at insurance companies. We believe that, treating people fairly and giving them a good price is important, and being honest with them. That was like one of progressives here in the United States, Progressive Insurance. That was one of their themes was, even if we don't have the best price, we'll send you to the place that has the best price. So like goodwill, that's what people are investing in. So I think people start to feel better about the decisions they're making, and maybe even willing to spend a little bit more money because they know it's going to be put to use just beyond their personal use.
Cool. So today, your products must go together with a mission, and this will help you to add some emotions at the purchase journey, right?
Absolutely. You want to evoke some kind of emotion in the consumer, because if you're not, it just becomes about price, I believe. And just being about price, you can have a product that's more inexpensive than your competitors, and that's one of the selling points. But if it just becomes price, it just comes down to a race to the bottom to see who can do it the cheapest. And it's probably just going to be big corporations that can produce things in mass. And we lose out on that brand and that feeling that's there.
Usually when there is sales trainings, they explain you that when you come to the price question, you start negotiating the price. You have to add and discuss values of your product, because the more you have the values, then the price looks like it's lower, and the buyer will buy it. But you add to this not the values. You're saying like, values is okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. But if you add the mission there, then the price will collapse. Nobody will even think about it.
I think people will think less about it. Yeah, especially as people are making more, eco-conscious decisions. There's a lot of missions, helping people that are in poverty, helping save the planet, saving certain endangered species. There's a lot of other causes that are out there. And so I think as the world becomes more connected and more global, I find out, hey, there's this other country that's really struggling to get access to clean water. I want to help do something about that because I have access to clean water and I appreciate that. And so I want to extend some generosity that way and help those people.
But is mission always about donations? About donating money to foundations?
No, not at all. The mission could be, I went bald at a young age and I wanted to find a way to create a product that would prevent other men from going bald. And it's more about, having pride in self and not feeling embarrassed about something that's really natural for a lot of guys, but experiencing that was difficult for this person. And so they created something out of that, found a success story, and other people resonate with that. So it could be improving yourself too. It doesn't necessarily have to be about other people or other countries.
Cool. So like in short, what exactly is a brand?
A brand is a story that showcases oftentimes a product or a service. But a brand is simply a story that resonates with people. I mean, if you really want to break it down, it's, you could say we're a company that does this, but we're here to, like my mission statement for my company, Cartology, our mission is to serve. That's how I believe God made me, was just to be of service to people. And so I believe that resonates with people. We do that by helping them to grow, these brands to grow on Amazon. But our story is we're here to serve.
Cool. Why is the story so important for a brand to be successful? You just told us. You just told us about this. But how to make this story successful? So what are the criteria?
I think you need to know who you're talking to first. If I'm talking to my daughter versus talking to my wife, I'm going to present things often in two very different ways, depending upon, the person that's receiving the information. So when you look at your product that you have and your brand, you need to know who are you talking to. In that case of the hair loss solution product, you're talking to other men that have been balding. What that feels like. And so when you know who you're talking to, you can get into character with that person and realize, how am I feeling? What do I want a brand, what would I want a product to do, or how would I want it to make me feel? And does this product make me feel that way? So first you have to know who your audience is and who you're talking to. I think some people, there can be a miss there. So for instance, selling like whiskey stones, that you like rocks basically you can put in the fridge or the freezer and it keeps them cold and you can put it in whiskey or scotch, whatever the case might be. I think those companies originally thought we're selling it to bourbon lovers or whiskey lovers or scotch lovers. In reality, people that drink bourbon, that drink scotch, whatever the case might be, they're either drinking it neat or they're putting an ice cube or something in it because it helps change the flavor just enough to open up the palate and open up so it's not so hot. It provides a little bit different flavor. So the whiskey stones, that was never something that was for whiskey drinkers. It was really for people buying gifts for whiskey drinkers. And so when you start locking onto that audience and knowing, okay, how we want this person to feel like who they're buying it for is going to have a great experience because of this. So that's what we need to showcase, not necessarily focus on the whiskey itself, but how it's going to make people feel when they give a gift to someone and they know that it resonates with them. Now there's a problem there because eventually people are going to realize, oh, no one's using these whiskey stones. They're just buying it as gifts and they're sitting on the shelves. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other story. But the point is you have to know who your audience is. And so I think beyond knowing who your audience is, what creates a good story is a need or a want that was unsuccessfully fulfilled, or there was no solution for. And so where's maybe the pain point? So for the guy who lost his hair, he lost his hair, and it wasn't so much, I think, about the hair, but he maybe felt embarrassed because, there's a stigma around people that are losing hair and are going bald. I mean, people like Michael Jordan look great with a bald head. So I think if you are, maybe just go for it and, shave off your head and people get used to you being bald. But there's an emotion that happens there, and it impacts people in a powerful way that causes them to move. People might feel embarrassed by that, so they wear a hat all the time, or because they're not comfortable looking like that or feeling that way. And so part of
result, what would sound this good story sound like? For example, you said two cases, some medicine or cream for bald people and the whiskey stones. How would sound a good story and good brand for those two products?
Yeah, I think one of the best examples I could give would be for the men that are balding. And it would just simply be, I started balding in my early 20s and I was embarrassed by that. I went out and found and created a product that's going to prevent you from feeling that same embarrassment. Buy this stuff. It's going to save you embarrassment and you're going to be proud of how you look. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't even have to be super tech savvy. Like I said, my mission is to serve. One of the differentiators of my business and my service is not necessarily the technical aspect, but it's that we really build a relationship with people. And so people that that matters to. They want to have a relationship. They want to feel like they can really trust the person, and it's not just someone they've hired. That's our target audience. And so we say that to people who that doesn't resonate with, they move on. The people who are like, okay, that's important to me, I want to have a good quality of service, they stick around.
So, and how to use this good stories branding in e-commerce now? Yeah, on Amazon, on marketplaces, you've got there just a listing and a picture and the description of the goods. You then
absolutely. So things are very transactional. Things are very much about, and Amazon recently came out in their most recent letter to shareholders for 2020 this year. And it said that 28% of people purchasing on Amazon are making a decision in 3 minutes or less. That's super quick. And 50% are doing it in under 15. So
I should say that it's longer than an elevator pitch, right?
It's a little bit longer than an elevator pitch, but not by much. So that's essentially, I think that's a great point though. You have to, as a brand, have an elevator pitch. And a big part of that is the visual aspect. I'm a big fan of a gentleman named Donald Miller, has a company called Story Brand that I learned a lot about branding from. And one of the things he mentioned when it comes to e-commerce, especially on someone's website, when someone lands on that landing page, they shouldn't have to scroll to know what the product does. They should immediately know what the product does. So if you are, selling a balding cream for men, and the first thing that shows is just a cream, people, and that's the image, people may not necessarily know that that's what it is you're selling. They can read text, but if they see maybe a before and an after image, that's something that could really display, what it is, like, oh, okay, they went from here to this. If you're cooking, I saw an example of a product that was, it was a sous vide product. So cooking meat, in the bags and in a low water temperature over time, so you get a better flavor of meat. It's a little bit more tender, and they had the sous vide machine right on there, and it just basically said, like, better tasting meat. I mean, this is very, very simple. Yeah. So because things are very quick and transactional, especially when it comes to e-commerce and especially on Amazon, you have to utilize the space that you're given to tell the story quickly. So that means in the media assets section, in your images, you can't just show a picture of the products. You have to show infographics that say, here's the 3 reasons why this product is better than anything else you're going to experience. Yeah. You have to have videos that show someone using it and the simplicity of using it. If it's, a cell phone case that has a wallet on the back, you need to show someone using it, showing it very, being very elegant, if that's the look that you're going for, making it look, very tech savvy, or making it look really futuristic, if that's the goal, but show someone using it, how easy it is, and boom, put it in their pocket and then go. They're talking on the phone. They're in a checkout line. They pull their credit card out, give it to someone. I'd say you're kind of rude for being on the phone while you're checking out, but they're showing how convenient that thing is. They put it back in, they go on their way. So it's using the available space, and really, I think from an image standpoint, telling people what the product does in a quick fashion. And I would say your price is going to tell something to people too. So we're talking about kind of price psychology. A lot of SaaS companies have this model of good, better, best. So they show you, hey, for $5 a month, you can get our service, and it has these 2 things. Okay, cool. They may even have a free version. The middle version is, $25, and you get all these extra services. Well, then you go up to the 3rd service, and it's $75 a month, and you get a couple more services, but it's not that many. They want you to go with that middle option because that's where they're most profitable, but they're putting it to you in a way that shows you, this is a bad option. This is only going to give you a couple things, and it's cheap, but whatever. And then we have this higher option, but the higher option is not that much more value, and it costs a lot more. So if you really want that, great. But they're getting you to line with that middle option. So price is going to tell something to consumers. If they're looking for a really nice pair of glasses, and your price is $25.99, that tells people, and they're used to paying $300, that tells people that your product is cheap. that means that the product, and it could be a great product, but the product quality may not be there based on what they've experienced before when purchasing something cheaper. A lot of people, say if it's too good to be true, it is. If someone says, man, I have this great deal on this product and it's almost 100% off, I'm going to question and say, well, why is it 100% off? Like, why are you discounting it? Don't you want to make money as a business? And so the price is something that tells a story as well too. How valuable is this product? And if someone has a cheaper price, maybe that's what they're after, and that's okay. Like, hey, we're going to get you good quality for a really low price, and that's fine. That's how Walmart built, their business was always a low price, always. That was one of their, slogans for a long time. So it was about price. It wasn't about necessarily the best quality, and people were wanting to be budget friendly. So that tells that story as well. Yeah,
I'm just finishing his book, so I know about this story.
Oh, okay, yeah, Sam Walton's book.
Yeah, that's okay. And how do you think when the e-commerce seller prepares his story and brand, is it enough to show it on the marketplace, or it is impossible to show the brand idea and brand mission just on the marketplace?
It's very difficult to tell the entire brand mission on the marketplace. And so when we work with clients on Amazon, it is very targeted towards the product. How is the product going to benefit, and what are the features that make this unique? And so it could be price, it could be that it's incredibly high quality. We have a client who sells really nice pens. Mm-hmm. This is one of them. It's a really nice pen. Okay, this weighs like 1/4 pound. So I mean, it's heavy for a pen. It feels great. It feels like luxury. You only have to refill ink, so you're not going to be spending money on additional pens. So it's like investing in a nice pair of jeans. If you know you're going to wear them a lot and use them a lot, I might spend $200 on a pair of jeans because they're really, really nice. If I don't care about that, I might spend $10 because I know I'm going to get them dirty. And so that's not important. So like this pen, you don't need to spend $40, $50 on a pen, but it makes you feel a certain way. It makes you feel like I'm writing with luxury. It's really easy. I like the weight of it. So there's a tactile experience there. Just because things move onto e-commerce, it doesn't mean people still don't want to experience a product. They still want to know, okay, it's going to make me feel this way and it's going to look like this. So I think it's important for you to realize that the product is going to lead, but if you've got a strong brand and you're doing things with your products and displaying the ways that stay on brand for you, if it's a certain color scheme, if it's a certain type of setting, if you're selling a product that's for cowboys, you're probably going to set it in a ranch. You're probably not going to, set it in the middle of New York City or in the middle of London. You're going to be targeting images to get people to buy it, to latch on to that. However, social media is a big component of people's lives. So if your product resonates with them, they're going to go investigate you on social media. They're going to go check out your website.
That's how to check and understand, is it resonating or not? Because you're saying the brand is resonating story, but how to check it? How to the focus group? What is the process? So at first when I talk to new sellers, they ask what product to choose, and like this is the first question. And so they have to choose the product. They have to invent the brand mission, and the mission must be resonating. So how to check it? What is the process? Is it resonating or not?
When it comes to showing that your brand is resonating, one of the easiest ways is revenue. Now, finding out if your brand's resonating with people based on a specific advertisement, you're not necessarily going to know. But if people are purchasing the product, that tells you that it's resonating with them. And I think as you start to get more visibility, if people are engaging with social media posts that you're putting out there and saying, yeah, man, I had this same thing happen to me, or I love this pen, I love how the pen makes me feel, et cetera, you'll start to get feedback on stuff. And so I think initially sales is a driver that this product resonates with people. To know if your brand really resonates with them, it's, looking at some of the comments on social media, looking at some of the reviews and see, are people feeling a certain way when they use this product? And you can do that on Amazon. You can see what reviews people left. the comments they had, like, this pen was awesome. It made my day so much easier because I didn't have to think about, where the right pen was. I always had it with me. It looked really nice and made me feel proud about, the pen I was using. I wasn't just using like a standard crappy pen that, I could put in the trash at any time. It really made me feel good too. So I think if you're seeing people comment on how it makes them feel and how they're integrating it into their life, as well as you're generating sales for your product, that's really how you know when it comes to the marketplace. Again, looking at reviews, then looking at over time as we're selling, are we starting to get more traffic going to our website? Are we starting to get, because people are wanting to go direct to the brand, are people starting to follow us more on social media and engage with our posts? If so, we know that it's resonating with people.
Okay, and what could be the questions? For example, a company asks you to come for a brainstorm as a coach to invent a mission and resonating story.
Yeah.
What would be the questions that you would ask the team? Well, how will you help them to find this resonating story?
The thing that I want to do is during that, discovery process of why you're even here is I'm going to dig really deep, and it's going to get personal to the person. So I'm not going to make fun of his mom or something like that, but I'm going to say, why did you start? Why is this business here? Why do you have this product? Well, we did it because, there was no option for this in the marketplace. And I'd say, why was that important? Well, I had experienced this same thing and I didn't want other people to experience that. Boom. Okay, well, that's why that's important, because you experienced it and other people will experience it as well. But you have to dig deep behind the why before you get to the other aspects. Like, why is this product even important? Well, it's important because we make it out of recycled plastics, and there's plastic building up all around the world and in dump sites in the ocean. And so making these products actually helps eliminate some of that waste, and it helps our earth to be a better, cleaner place for generations to come. Well, that's why it's important. It's not just because it's a cool product or even because no one else was doing this, but we know there's this problem that's out there, and this product is helping solve that product, and people are passionate about that product. So I would just really, the first things I would go with are, why is this the case? And if they give a sort of a superficial answer, why is that important? Well, it's important because of this. Why is that relevant to what's going on in people's lives? You could have a product that's really cool and it maybe even has, a lot of value, but if it doesn't resonate with people or it's not applicable to what's going on, then it makes itself less relevant. So I'm trying to think of an example, but a salad spinner that gets water off of your lettuce. Like, we've got this really cool product. It's got a great technology. Why is that important? Because no one else is doing this. Okay, but why is it relevant? Well, people eat salad. Like, there's not really a solid problem there that you're solving, or is it even a problem that people care that much about? So, and then once you develop that story, it really is testing it on the market to see if people purchase the product. If people purchase the product, that it's starting to resonate with them. If no one's purchasing, you now realize, okay, something's not landing. Is it why we're doing it? Is it what the product actually does? Is it the price point? Then it's about evaluating all those factors. And yes, a focus group could be important. Testing different, people talk about A/B testing two different variations of the product to see which one sells better. Then it's about experimenting to see what's actually going to resonate with people. And sometimes you come to the conclusion, this isn't relevant. And so, or this why is not important to that many other people. You move on to the next thing.
Yeah, but I think it's very important to find this answer that it is not relevant as fast as it is possible, because if you invest huge amount of money and then in half a year or in a year or in 2 years, you find out, wow, it was not relevant.
And so many people don't ask those questions. If they would just start with the questions and say, yeah, why is this important? They just think, this is cool. This could be a cool product. Let's get it out there. And then you realize, oh, there are a lot of other people creating this kind of product. Oh, it's really not that important to people as I thought. If you'd asked those questions at the beginning, like you said, Alex, then yeah, they would have saved themselves a lot of money and a lot of hassle too.
Okay, super wonderful. Thank you very much for answering these questions and telling us a little bit more about brand and mission and resonating story and how brand can help avoid discussion about prices.
Absolutely.
This one I like. Can you tell us in a short thing, because I always say that people remember only the short takeaways. It is difficult to remember everything from our.
Absolutely.
It will be great if you can give us 3 tips, short ones, how to be successful in online business according to the brand building.
Have a story. That's number one. Evoke an emotion, and then I would say experiment with what you've got to see how the story will really land with people and what will really resonate. But I think those 3 things will help people to be successful and even realize this product isn't a go, so I'm going to move on to something else, or I didn't quite get it right this time. Let's fix it so that we can actually make something successful.
Wonderful, very good, very short and easy to remember, actually. So 3 tips what not to do.
Don't get started without doing any research on it. I mean, I think that's one thing. Don't focus on price as the value of the product, and be honest with yourself. When you ask those questions, why is this important? Be honest and say, okay, I might love this product, but if I want to make money, is it really going to generate revenue? So I think being honest with yourself will save you a lot of time.
It's very difficult. It's very
difficult to do. Yeah. Because especially if something is important to you, it's hard to detach yourself. But in that being honest with yourself, I'd say go to people you trust and get feedback from them and see what they say and utilize the feedback. Now, I'm not talking about haters who are like, you suck, you're never going to make anything, important, whatever. Let those people hate. That's okay. They just, if anything, give you more recognition. Go to people you trust and say, hey, does this make sense? Am I on the right track here? And listen to the feedback and implement it.
Wonderful. Thank you. So the last question is for today will be 3 tips how to be successful in life in general.
Recognize you don't know it all and ask for help from people that you trust. I would say never stop. Put yourself in a place of humility and realize I've always got more to learn, and I'm going to always try to keep learning. And even if that means asking for feedback, putting myself around the right people, I think that's just coming from that place of humility is going to help you. Even if you're great at something, it's okay to be great at something. You can still have humility about it. And the third thing I would say is, what was the first thing I said? I don't even remember now.
It's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help. Come from that place of humility, and just surround yourself with the right kind of people that are going to be honest with you, but are going to also help build you up.
I like the wording, surround yourself with people that will not allow you to be less successful and less strong as you can be.
Yep. Yeah. So some people say, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. I think that makes sense as well.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much for today and for being my guest. It's a very interesting topic, brand building, very complicated, and I'm sure that people that want to build a great brand with a resonating story, they should be ready to ask for help. And hopefully they will find your contacts under this video and ask the help from you.
Yes, I hope so. I hope you'll ask us for help if you're wanting to win on a really big marketplace like Amazon, where a lot of people are going, especially in the US market, but it's starting to grow internationally as well. We can work with you and help you to find the story that resonates and actually start generating revenue from that.
Wonderful. Our WAPI story is very simple. We're here to help your online trading business grow. We're doing everything to help you grow. We're searching for great people from e-commerce. We invite them. We get new info, new knowledge, and everything. All the warehouses that we integrate in our system, the courier service delivery, the marketplace integration, the knowledge that we collect in one place, everything is for one reason: to make your business grow and for you to become a worldwide trading successful company. Please, if you want any help, and believe me, you want it, because the topic is huge. There are a huge amount of questions and we know the answers. So call us, send us an email, and of course, stay tuned for WAPI webinars every Thursday. Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael, for being with me today.
Yeah, thanks, Alex, for having me. I really appreciate it, man. I hope it's helpful for